Thanks for popping by my YouTube channel, Hybrided Jamaican-American Art, a special kind of art. I come from a Jamaican mother and an American daddy who were together for 50 plus years till death did them part. Today, from the Jamaican side, I'll be making Jamaican curry chicken that me Jamaican auntie taught me. She since too has passed, but before she did, she taught me how to make several Jamaican dishes, and this was one of them. For my Jamaican curry chicken, I'll be using chicken that is boneless and pretty much skinless. I usually don't use skinless and boneless chicken, but for this particular dish, it makes for better results. Jamaican curry powder, and you got to be careful on the type of curry powder that you use because not all curry powders are the same and it can make a tremendous difference. Garlic powder, onion powder, ground turmeric, ground pepper, fresh thyme, oil, water, and many people use potatoes, but I don't because even though potato is considered a vegetable, it's too starchy for me. So I'm not going to use it. I'm just showing you what people often do. Being that I've already washed and cleaned my chicken, I start by cutting my chicken pieces into smaller sizes. So, they don't have to be evenly cut, but cut close in size. Say something like this size. I was at one of my friend's bridal showers, and they were making curry chicken from a cookbook. Out of respect, I kept my thoughts to myself, but felt like saying, that's not curry chicken. But then I tried making curry chicken one time from whole pieces. And then I was the one who was being told, that's not curry chicken. Which goes to show there's always room for messing up. So I'm going to cut up the rest of the pieces, and then I'll show you what I do next. So I'm seasoning this chicken with the seasonings that I mentioned. And you can use whatever seasonings you want in addition to the curry. It's just that these are the seasonings that I like to use. The garlic powder, onion powder, turmeric powder, black pepper. And notice when I use these, the garlic and the onion, I always use garlic powder and onion powder, not garlic salt and onion salt. A Jamaican mother always cooked that way as it makes the food not only tastier but healthier. So I just keep rubbing in the chicken, marinating it, working it in. And once I have enough seasonings, because you want enough seasonings in there, especially for foods like chicken and turkey, but you don't want it too much seasonings either. But now that I've added those, now it's time to add the curry powder. Reason why I put the other seasonings on before I put the curry powder on, just that way I know, I can tell what's in there because curry powder can cover up the other seasonings. And like I said, with me, a lot of times I don't measure I just keep my eye on it, use my judgment. And of course, it all depends on how spicy you want your curry chicken. I like spicy food, but I don't like too spicy food. So I use the one that's mild. And if you could smell what I'm smelling, you could smell that there's curry powder, enough curry powder is getting in the chicken now. And like I said, being that I like to let it marinate for several hours overnight, often, it'll help absorb the flavor even more. I might add just a bit more, but this is generally how I have it. And as I said earlier in the video, I say the thyme for last. That's because it's fresh thyme. If it were ground thyme or just thyme flakes themselves, then I would have added it with the others. And again, you don't have to do it this way. It's just the way I do. That's just the way I do it. Okay, so my curry chicken, it's now seasoned, ready to marinate. Like I said, I like to marinate it for several hours, often overnight, which is what I'm going to do now. So I'm just going to cover it, put it in the refrigerator, and then I'll be back to show you the cooking process. Okay, so it's over 24 hours later. So it's time to start the cooking process using olive oil, water, and more Jamaican curry powder. As you can see, the seasonings have marinated into the chicken quite well. So let's get started. In a good sized pot, I start heating the oil and the curry powder in a low to medium heat. It'll take a few minutes. Let's let the oil warm up first, and then I'll add the curry powder. Once the oil starts to get warm, you add some curry powder, heating them up together. Now again, it depends on how spicy you want your curry chicken to be. I like spicy, but I don't like too spicy. So again, I use a mild curry powder. Like I say, a lot of these things, many of these things, you don't really have to use measurements. You just eye it and use your judgment. And see, I can tell already, I'm going to need some more curry powder. So I'm going to add some more. And once the two are combined together, heated it up enough, that's when I add the chicken. After the oil and the curry powder have started cooking together, I add in the chicken. And remember, like I said, I normally don't use skinless, boneless chicken, but for this curry chicken that I make, I find it easier to use it. So I cook the chicken a bit in the curry oil. And then once it starts to cook, then I add in the water. So I'm going to have this cook a bit, and then you'll get to see when I add in the water. And as I said in some of my previous posts, after my father died, I went from asking my mother how to cook Jamaican food to asking my auntie how to make Jamaican food. And she taught me several Jamaican dishes. And then one day she asked my mother why I kept asking her how to cook the dishes instead of my mom. My mother said, because according to your niece, your American brother-in-law was right. I'm good, but I'm not the great, wonderful Jamaican cook that you are. The oil and the curry powder is starting to turn into gravy, and that is exactly what you want. You might have to adjust your heat, as I actually had to turn mine down some, not a lot, just some, so it can simmer and cook really well. Since I'm not adding any real vegetables, I decided to add some scallions. Since I didn't decide until now is a good time to cook them while the chicken is cooking. I like to slice them up this way, but of course, you can slice them in the way that you want to slice them. And again, as the curry chicken is cooking, you want to keep your eye on it. You want to turn it, stir it occasionally, just so that it'll cook consistently. And again, as the curry chicken is cooking, you want to keep your eye on it. You want to turn it, stir it occasionally, just so that it'll cook consistently and evenly. And as you might be able to see, you can probably see, the oil and the curry powder is starting to turn into gravy, and that is exactly what you want. You might have to adjust your heat, as I actually had to turn mine down some, not a lot, just some, so it can simmer and cook really well. Now that the chicken is close to being done, now I'm going to add the scallions. If I were adding more traditional vegetables like carrots or potatoes, I would add them sooner, but not too soon, because you don't want overcooked vegetables. Anyone who knows me knows I do not like overcooked vegetables. My Jamaican mother cooked vegetables in a way that they wouldn't be overcooked. And that's the way I was brought up. That's the way I like them. And not just because to me they're tastier, but they're also healthier that way. Now you might have to adjust your heat, which I actually had to do again, to get the gravy consistency. Again, use your judgment. If you have to make it a little hotter for a while, make it a little hotter. If you have to make it, if it has to lower the heat, lower it. Okay, so now Jamaican curry chicken is pretty much cooked. So what I'm going to do, turn off the heat, let it simmer. That way, again, we'll make better gravy, and then it will be all set to eat. Okay, so now the Jamaican curry chicken is ready. I usually serve it with vegetables and rice. Jamaicans often serve it with Jamaican rice and peas. Another dish my Jamaican auntie taught me how to make. and I'll probably be posting that as well. So here it is, everyone. My Jamaican curry chicken that my Jamaican auntie taught me how to make. I hope you try making it using my auntie's guidance as your guidance. And thank you, Auntie, for teaching me how to make Jamaican curry chicken, even though I doubt mine will ever be as good as yours was. And thank you guys for visiting my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe, as I intend to be back with more Jamaican cooking and other areas of hybrided Jamaican-American art. Till next time!